Hi, everybody, and welcome to an all-new, still on the air, not only an all-new episode, but an all-new season. I'm David Pierce Anderson, and it's been too long. We were going to try to have a show last week, but some technical difficulties, so here we are. First things first, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm David Pierce Anderson. You know me from last year. I did some stuff with this show. But we got a new face on board, Jackson Touchberry. It's you, Jackson. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So we had you on the show last year as a guest on our first ever episode, and look at you now. You worked your way up.
All the way to the top.
Yes. So if you want to give like a quick little rundown of who you is, let us know. Who are you?
I'm Jackson Touchberry.
And you're, I guess I've just found out you're a senior now at EMU.
Yes, I am.
President of Lafayette Enterprises. Yeah?
Yes, I am.
I'm vice president of that group. Yeah.
That was you.
Yep, and that's who you haven't been emailing back.
You goofball.
All right. Well, anyway, we're really lucky to have you, and we're really looking forward to what you got in store this year. So, still on the air, what we do is we do stories, we do all the fun stuff. We do interviews, and we do fun stuff with our guests. But Jackson and I mentioned we're in part of Lafayette Enterprises. That is where we met. So we've known each other for, it's going to be 3 years at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And we met the second week of school, and I found this picture in Thanksgiving break. So this happened around September, and we took a picture together a week before we met. So we met the second week of September. We took a picture together the first week of September. And that's amazing. I didn't find it until Thanksgiving when we were like this. We were really close. And we have that picture.
What?
We have the picture. We're going to show it right now. Look at that. There's the first picture Jackson and I ever took together.
My God.
Yeah. Well, you might be asking, where's Jackson? There's Jackson. He's in the background. I thought that was the funniest thing. It was during break. I was going through the family computer, and it was, there I was eating a salad like a goob, and there's one head in the background looking up, and it's Jackson's. That was at Bowen Fieldhouse First Four.
Yeah, that was a really packed field house. What are the odds,
I don't know, but I'd like to. There's just a lot of heads to be looking down, and yours wasn't one of them.
Nope, always looking up.
I like that thinking. It's going to be a good year. So we're going to get into some of the news right now, and we usually do comedy, but we're going to get first things first and talk a little bit serious. A very important issue. Last week, for the third time within a year, a racist slur was found printed on Eastern Michigan University's campus. It's a vile act and has no place on our campus. It is important that we take a stand whenever this evil is perpetrated in our midst, and that we don't ever give a lackadaisical response whenever people in our community are attacked. We must stand together and refuse to give these insecure individuals the power that they seek. Speaking of insecure individuals, Donald Trump, no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about the Donald this week, but we do have news about another fluorescent golden thing, and that's McDonald's. McDonald's in Finland is launching a trial product in the next few weeks, making history in the fast food world. They're testing out and trying a vegan sandwich, appropriately called the McVegan. So, this sandwich has no dairy, no eggs, no meat whatsoever. And the no meat part makes it a perfect fit on a McDonald's menu. The McVegan will be served in America. It won't be served in America, because they are worried about the taste. As in, it'll be the best tasting thing on the menu, which isn't saying much for McDonald's menu, but is saying quite a bit for vegan food. Finland is a great place to live. They have the highest standards of living and the happiness per capita. However, all that has gone downhill due to the sudden increase in vegan hipsters throughout the country. So I got a joke for you. A 7-year-old, a drunk 26-year-old, and a vegan walk into a restaurant. That restaurant is McDonald's, because those are the only 3 people that should be going into that place. I didn't write it. Well, McVegan, what do you think?
Well, what do you think the slogan for the McVegan is? When you're against the cruelty of animals, but not cruelty against your colon?
Yeah, that lays it down. I was thinking, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I hate myself. It's too real. In Twitter's latest update, select users can now tweet using 280 characters. This is an increase from the social media staple of 140 when Twitter was founded. So Twitter kind of started this quick, to-the-point stories with 140 characters. The app randomly selects users now to have this honor of 280 characters. And, well, I have more on the story, but I wasn't chosen, so I ran out of characters right now.
What would you do with 280 characters?
I don't know, man. I shouldn't be given 140. What about you? What would you do?
I would finally finish my all hashtag novel.
That's right. I forgot you were starting that.
It's called #Riveting.
Hashtag coming soon.
Hashtag coming soon.
In other pop internet news, AOL has officially announced they will be ending their instant messaging service. And that reminds me, I haven't fed my Neopets in like 13 years. God, I hope they're doing all right. Starting in the 1990s, most teenagers had the all-new instant messaging feature through AOL. And you were not cool if you didn't have AOL instant messaging. I would know. I'm a 90s baby. Now, without AOL's AMI service, I'm at a loss at how I'll instantly get in contact with friends. With the loss of AOL's instant messaging service, it can now be grouped with Hugh Hefner under the category of things that died in the last couple of weeks we thought died in the late 90s.
Man, I gotta tell you, that story hits me real hard.
Yeah.
AM was like my main mode of communicating.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else is out there anymore. I just gotta go and ask Jeeves and like search it up, find some new messengers.
You get on that. We'll try to help you out in the meantime. This story is close to home. You kind of mentioned that. You just said that phrase too.
Yeah.
That's funny. But as many of you know, after the graffiti incident last year, the Black Student Union asked for more security cameras. Well, this summer they delivered with this. That's a brilliant location. With the new security camera in place, the single one, they were able to finally put a face to the culprit behind the graffiti. And here he is. Very impressive for a guy that doesn't have thumbs.
Our tuition at work.
Good for them. You know, I was shocked when I saw that camera, just like plastered on a tree. That makes me... Okay, we're not being watched. That's good. I thought camera 5 might have been behind us. Well, there was more renovations, not just a single camera on a tree, but EMU has had plenty of renovations going on this summer, and as the cones and construction workers across campus will tell you, they've been going on this school year also. Since I started attending EMU in the fall of 2015, the school has made it a key point of theirs to eliminate all gluten-free options on campus. They continued this trend this year by taking out the center console and the student center, as well as a smoothie bar and Freshens. That leaves me with ketchup packets from Chick-fil-A. By the way, we got a Chick-fil-A. Hundreds of students flock to McKinney every day so they can try some Chick-fil-A. In the restaurant, however, they haven't been able to keep up with the demand for the food, and they find themselves without that many employees. And the only thing smaller than Chick-fil-A's staff is their tolerance for gay marriage.
Yeah.
Another update has been the $39 million renovation to Strong Hall. And if you really like buildings without walls and windows, you will love Strong Hall.
You know I do.
Yeah, they're moving along very slowly, but they'll eventually get there. Football team was not happy to hear that money was being put into another aspect of the school. But we got to divvy it up every now and then. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with Student Body President Miles Payne. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It's Still on the Air. We're here with our wonderful student body president, Miles Payne. Miles, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I really want to thank you for winning the election because I did not want to go 0 for 2 last year.
Thanks.
So, personally,
I'll take it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So, walk us through, like that first night, walk us through the election night specifically, when you found out that you were the winner. What was that night like, and then what was the reaction and celebration afterwards?
Sure. The reaction, always goes two ways. There's always two sides. There's always multiple sides, more so to any kind of election. So, of course, the people that voted for me, my friends and family that were close with me, they were all super excited. The fact that Larry and I, were able to take the election. But, of course, there's another group of people. There's another group of individuals and students that were, really bummed out that they felt their voice wasn't heard. So, it's a mixed bag. Of course, Larry and I felt very blessed and very excited to take on that responsibility, but we also felt a lot of pressure that not only do we need to advocate for the community that voted for us, but we also need to still advocate for the community that voted for the other people as well.
Right. And so how did that transition process from getting elected to becoming student body president?
Yeah.
What kind of period did you have to learn from your predecessors and to kind of get your feet wet?
The transition period was really smooth. Larry was Joshua Starr, the previous vice president. Larry was his RA way back when. I had known Tanajan since my freshman year. So we already had a good relationship with them both. So when we were starting to step into the role, it was very casual and not like, okay, I have to introduce myself to you, but hey, Miles, let's sit down, let's have a conversation. They gave us a lot of good lists, a lot of expectations, and kind of walked us through any problem we ran into. And even to this day, if we still run into something like, hey, how'd you go about doing that? They're always open to answering our questions. So it's been a really good transition.
Mm-hmm. And how much time, when did you start officially doing stuff as president?
Day one.
Really?
Day one. So we were elected one day, and the next day we wake up and we're already starting to get in the process.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
really. And so over the summer, because you probably haven't had a day off since you were elected.
No, not really.
What was the process over the summer? What were you doing then?
The summer is a really interesting time because not only, students are away, but they're also still here. So the summer is, or was, Larry and my time to kind of build relationships with the community. Sit down with this administrator, this coach, that student, and just build a relationship that says, hey, come December, January, February, if there's an issue that arises, we already know each other. And it's not introducing ourselves to the community in March. We already have that relationship built. So a lot of the summer was getting our feet, under us and building those relationships.
So have you noticed like a change, people coming up to you on campus or something, recognizing you?
Yeah. It's a little weird. Even just the other day, I was standing in Pray Herald. I was about to walk into class. I have my headphones on, I'm holding my bag, and I'm assuming a freshman comes up because he says, hey, you're that guy that did that speech. And I was like, well, okay, I'm assuming you're a freshman then because of first four. And he says, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm going to class. He's like, what? You go to class? I'm like, yeah, I'm a student. He's like, no, you're not a student. You're the president. I'm like, no, I'm the student body president. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
If I was student body president, I'd have someone go to class for me. You have that power, man.
Are you sure?
That's what our tax-paying dollars are going towards.
You
make the big calls, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you had a lot of plans going in, and we had the Meet the Candidates last year. We had you featured on there, and you talked a lot about what your plans were going forward. Have you been able to get the ball rolling on those?
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the biggest ones that we're really excited about that student government has worked on a lot in the past is the rec renovations. And so, we passed the $35 opt-out fee that students could opt out if they wanted. And already by, I believe, the third week of September, they already put about $155,000 of new equipment into the rec.
Really?
So that's the really cool thing, is that a lot of times in higher education, it's a really slow-moving process. But, we passed this fee and bang, by the end of summer, they're already putting, hundreds of thousands of dollars into new equipment. So it's nice to show students, hey, your voice matters. When you want us to do something, we're going to make it happen.
That's fantastic. And Jackson is an employee for the rec, so
It's true, yeah.
I've
I've been seeing all the new equipment come in.
Treadmills and all that stuff.
I was amazed at how quick everything just came together.
Have they updated the break room?
Yeah.
They
No.
did.
No, they did not update the break room.
we can put a couple more dollars towards there. Maybe
all right.
we'll get.
All right.
So what's the next step? Do you have anything coming up that you really want to get moving on, or more plans towards, the promises you made on the campaign?
Well, that's the thing, is that Larry and I said, we're not going to make any promises because we're just two guys. We're going to do our best to advocate for our communities, and work for the students, but we can't make any promises. However, a lot of things change, and throughout the summer, with the current political landscape nationally, Larry and I have taken a lot of times during our day, to dedicate towards how do we make this campus safer and wiser when it comes to these kind of impending national kind of types, and events that could happen on campus. So, right before school started, we had what happened in Charlottesville could happen here,
right.
And we gave a nice little forum to about 35-something different orgs about how can we, best adjust to that type of situation if it were to happen here.
Okay, so I don't want to be putting words in your mouth, get bad relationship with the press and everything.
Right.
But okay, so we'll keep that in mind. We'll keep our ears open, always for the up and coming. What made you want to do this? Get into politics and become the student body president, because that is a hefty resume builder.
It's not supposed to be a resume builder.
Right.
The biggest thing is that I was originally going to be a part of the election, through just kind of advising type role. But nevertheless, somebody approached me and said, Miles, have you ever thought about doing this? And I said, well, yeah, it's been on my mind a little bit, but not really. And then that individual said, Miles, there's no greater way for you to make a positive change on this campus than through this position. And when that person said it, that was hook, line, and sinker. He got me right then and there because, at the end of the day, way back when, the thing I really want to do is just make sure that I've made a positive impact on my community.
For sure. Well, we appreciate all you're doing. I wish we had an hour-long show to talk to you because it's addicting.
Only.
But we're still going to have a little bit of time with you after this. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, I'm vice president of ETV. You're president of the whole campus. We're going to have a little bit of presidential trivia. See who knows their stuff best. So we'll be right back after this.
So we need the trivia.
Hi, my name is Shanna Gilkison, and ETV has been a very important part of my life, especially for the last 4 years.
I got my start at ETV in my third semester at Eastern from fellow students, and it's been a great experience.
Working with all these new people that I didn't know before, it's very awesome just seeing how willing people are to get together and create something from scratch.
I'm Shanna Gilkison for Eastern Weekly, and this is E-Walking.
I will also be hosting and producing a sort of like a late night style talk show.
Everyone that's here wants to be here. They care to be here. They want to work. They want to learn. And with that kind of environment, everybody benefits.
I tell you, I've been doing really well, very successful here at Eastern, but it wasn't until I really became part of the ETV club that I really felt like I was getting more of what I needed as a student.
We decided that we wanted to do things above and beyond our coursework. So I was part of founding the ETV student org.
It just so happened that Shanna was in one of my classes, and she told me to come, and I showed up, and it was very a very warm welcome. Like, everybody was very nice to me right away, and they actually had an idea to make a sitcom, or actually they called it a soap opera at that time, and they said they had they weren't sure exactly what they wanted, but they wanted one thing. They knew that they wanted this guy, his name is Ramon, to be their main character. I mean, that was kind of how the show Week at a Glance kind of took off.
Beyond Eastern's walls, when I'm done here, I'll probably be working with some people from ETV, again, professionally. And I think a lot of students don't take advantage of what they should with organizations on campus, and ETV is one of the best.
We're back again, and it's time for some presidential trivia. We got a president in lame, a president in the student body, and a vice president. Now, the way the game is going to be played is Jackson is going to ask a couple questions, and whoever raises their hand first, they get to answer. They get to attempt to answer. If they get it wrong, the other player gets to try and steal. The winner is whoever has the most answers correct, and that I wasn't clarified on that, but whoever has the most right, they win.
All right.
You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a president, so you should know this stuff.
Maybe.
So Jackson,
First question.
Here we go.
Who was the first president to name an African American to their cabinet? The options are Abraham Lincoln, Lyndon B. Johnson, or Bill Clinton. Dave,
Lyndon Baines Johnson.
you are correct.
Keep track at home, because we're not doing it here.
Which president had the first presidential library? Rutherford B. Hayes, Theodore Roosevelt, or Abraham Lincoln? Miles,
Hayes.
you are correct.
And isn't Rutherford a great name?
Yes.
My parents
I'm
are true.
gonna name my first daughter Rutherford. Which president collects Spider-Man and Conan the Barbarian comics? Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, or Barack Obama? Dave.
That's got to be W.
Oh, you are wrong. It is.
Wait, do I get to steal?
You get to steal.
Is it Clinton?
No,
Really?
it was Barack Obama.
Wow.
Obama collects.
You think you know a guy.
All right.
Who was the first president to appear on TV? Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, or Richard Nixon? Yes.
Eisenhower.
No. Dave.
Is it Nixon?
No, it was Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh!
I thought you two knew things.
I didn't even know they had. Didn't realize this was national president.
Yeah, right. I thought it was EMU student body presidents.
Yeah.
God.
Who was the only president to never get married? John Adams, Rutherford B. Hayes, or James Buchanan?
Well, it can't be Rutherford. That name just draws in attention.
The ladies just come rushing. Yes.
I'm gonna go Adams.
No,
What?
What was the last option?
James Buchanan. Yes.
James Buchanan.
You are correct.
What?
First try, baby.
I thought every president was married.
No, James Buchanan wasn't.
Oh.
I know that now. What is the most common name among presidents? George, John, or James? Yes.
John.
No.
What is happening?
James.
You are correct.
Madison, Monroe.
Actually,
You just count all of them in your head.
I used to know them all in order.
All right.
Who was the only president to serve more than 2 terms? George Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, or John F.
He already has it.
Kennedy? Yes.
Franklin Roosevelt.
You were correct.
They just couldn't get that guy out of there.
The only and last,
Yep. Until he
At-
died.
I'm struggling.
332 pounds, which president weighed the most?
Yeah, give it to him.
All right, guess.
Taft.
You are correct.
Yeah.
What's his middle name?
I have no idea.
William Howard Taft.
Ow.
Just gotta show off.
Well, I said Taft at least.
Who is the only president to be unanimously elected? George Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, or Ulysses S. Grant?
I thought it was Bush.
Wait, say it one more time.
I know it.
George
yeah,
Washington,
yeah.
Franklin Roosevelt, Ulysses S. Grant.
FDR. No.
That was
No.
yeah.
George Washington?
You are correct.
Yes. So, first.
You said unanimous?
What an only?
I thought it was anonymous. I thought they did an anonymous vote in the 30s. They didn't want that stuff to get leaked. Come on. What are we at?
All right. I got.
You're
catch up.
winning.
I'm gonna go
Who's
one.
the
I'm only
youngest?
one away.
Who is the youngest person to become president? Barack. Yes, Dave.
Teddy Roosevelt.
You're right.
John F. Kennedy was the youngest elected.
Oh, that's what I was
There's a
thinking
difference.
of. Oh, good catch. Good catch.
Who was the first president to be impeached? Richard Nixon, Bill Clinton, or Andrew Johnson?
Andrew
Yes,
Johnson.
whatever.
Andrew Johnson, baby. Big ol' Andy John.
Just let me do my job,
they call
Dave. I'm supposed to read. Okay. Which president is a distant relative of Marilyn Monroe? John F. Kennedy,
Better not be.
George H.W. Bush, or Richard Nixon? Such great options. Yes,
I mean, I'm just gonna go H.W. Bush.
you are correct.
Really? All right.
Now I know where he gets the looks.
The more, the more you know.
Wow.
Which president used an armored limousine that was a gift from Al Capone? Harry Truman, Herbert Hoover, it's hard to say, or Franklin Roosevelt? Yes.
Hoover.
No.
Truman?
Also, no, the answer was Franklin Roosevelt.
What?
Sorry, you guys.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, for real, yeah.
Who was the first president
these
to
the
win
two?
the Nobel Peace Prize? Theodore Roosevelt, JFK, or Richard Nixon? Yes, Dave.
We'll go with Jack Fitzgerald.
No.
What are the options one more time?
Theodore Roosevelt,
Okay.
JFK,
Okay.
Richard Nixon.
I'm gonna go Roosevelt.
You are correct.
Yes!
Well, at that point, that's probably a. What do we got? Score?
You're up
Quickly,
by
'cause
one.
what do we have?
You're up by one.
This is it.
This is the last
well,
one.
I gotta tie it.
You got to tie it.
I gotta tie
And
it.
we haven't
Gotta
figured
tie
out a
it.
Do we go
tiebreaker.
OT?
I don't know how to count. Who was the oldest elected president? Franklin Roosevelt, Donald Trump, or George H.W. Bush? Yes.
Donald.
You are correct. Dave takes it.
This is no. Keep
Yeah, baby. I got to be careful with the stool. I don't want the Secret Service coming in here and watching.
And by the rules of the game, Dave is now the student body president.
What?
No, you know what? You can have it. You can
I can have it.
You
We got to
can
switch
have
chairs
it.
now
Yeah,
because
all right,
this is where the
okay.
student body president. Well, I thought. I mean, that was a good job. What did you learn today? Because I think we learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
I learned that Roosevelt had a armored car provided by Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely learned that.
Didn't want any more injuries to the guy.
True.
The Marilyn Monroe thing is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That really got me.
I
Yeah,
was
that's a
really
little weird.
I was really rooting for Nixon though. Can you imagine it? I'm glad though Kennedy, of course, because that would not have been.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would've been a little weird.
Speaking of Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe, it was your birthday yesterday, right?
It was my birthday.
I think
Yes.
it's only fitting.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday,
No.
Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
We would have gotten you a cake, but Dave didn't fit in it.
That's all right.
We'll be right back to say
All
goodbye
right.
after the break. Miles, thanks so much. buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Are you an EMU student interested in getting a first-hand experience working at a radio station? Well, say no more. EMU offers a class through Eagle Radio that will thoroughly prepare you for a real-life experience. But first, you have to register for the class. Pick a date and a time slot. Then the world is yours. Eagle Radio allows you to be fully independent and customize your own show. Have real conversations about the news, celebrity gossip, update listeners about the weather, play a trivia game. It's your show. You're free to name your show whatever you want and play any edited music of your choice. If you love having heated debates and you feel your words need to be heard, then Eagle Radio is just for you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the first episode of Still on the Air and the first episode of the ETV season this year. We want to thank Miles Payne once again.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me
Appreciate
win in trivia. I knew you did.
Very kind.
I want to say happy birthday to John Lennon. He would have been 77 today. We're going to feature a Funko on each episode. But thank you so much. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at ETV, at EMU, and watch all of our shows on Campus Cable, Channel 18, or anytime on YouTube. I'm David Pierce Anderson. This is Jackson. This is Miles. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.